Hi everyone, welcome to this video for Pearson 2.0 GCSE English Language. I'm going to be talking you through a paper 1 question 5 example, which is one of the evaluation questions, and the topic is going to be tattoos. In terms of how to approach this task, you must write 3 points. The question makes an explicit reference to 3, but there is no need to analyse language and structure. When I teach this question, I use the traditional point evidence explanation formula. And when students are quoting evidence, they need to do so carefully and judiciously, which means that they don't need to copy long quotes out. It just wastes time and they will get no marks for it. In English, a highlighter is your best friend. Once students have selected their evidence, they then need to take it a step further and be able to interpret that evidence. So what does that evidence mean to you? What do you interpret from it? And what does the evidence suggest to you? And that word suggest is in bold because that can be quite an important word that you can use in your answer, which I'll show you an example of at the end of this video. Video is 6 marks, and therefore students should be spending about 10 minutes on it. So this is what the question will look like. It will have a box with all of the answers in it, and in that box there will be 3 bits of evidence that you could then refer to. The most important piece of information, though, before you even get to selecting evidence, is what the task is actually asking you to do. And that's what I've highlighted here in yellow. So in this extract, the writer tries to show how it's beneficial to get a tattoo. So that is the evidence that you're looking for, any evidence that suggests that it's beneficial to get a tattoo based on what the writer says. Okay, so let's read through this extract, and then I want you to find 3 bits of evidence that prove that the writer does tell us that it's beneficial to get a tattoo. Sure, my first tattoo was a little after I turned 18. I couldn't wait to get in the chair and feel the welcoming sting of the artist's needle. And I have been a woman in tech for more than 2 decades. Of course, any tattoo is magic. It can represent something, be lovely, dark, healing, mystical, beautiful, intriguing, meaningful, funny, deep, frivolous, mysterious, challenging, peaceful, or something else. It means you decided to permanently share something with the world. I love that notion. You become a totally unique, living and breathing artwork. Okay, so I'm going to pause this video now for you to find 3 bits of evidence that prove that it's beneficial to get a tattoo. If you don't want to pause it, I can give the answers to you straight away. So this is certainly, for me, what grabs my attention in terms of any evidence that suggests that it's beneficial to get a tattoo, and therefore the writer is almost persuasive in terms of how beneficial it can be to get one. So for each of these bits of evidence, we need to work out what this evidence means to us, what it suggests to us, what she is trying to say without saying it, if that makes sense. So that is the inference. So again, you can pause the video now to try and work out what she is saying here in each of these bits of evidence, or you can continue watching. So here we have inferences, how I have decided to interpret this information. So when she says that she's been a woman in tech for more than 2 decades, it means that she has got quite a good job. And she's presumably in the tech industry is earning quite a good amount of money. So what she's saying is that a tattoo doesn't hold you back in terms of employment, that you can still get quite lucrative and successful jobs even with body art. And that's still very quite a recent thing, because it wasn't so long ago that people sometimes didn't get jobs because they had a tattoo which was visible, and some employers didn't like that. Some still might not, actually, but I think we're moving into a more progressive society where people are kind of not, it's not the end of the world if you have a tattoo that's on your hand, for example. She then gives us a list of different emotions and concepts that a tattoo can represent. So there's a variety of designs, variety of colours, and it can represent a variety of different personality types. It can also represent, or tattoos can represent, a variety of different interests and what you deem important. So there's a number of different ways that this artwork can make you an individual. And the final piece of evidence is that to do with this idea that you become almost like a walking and breathing piece of artwork. And obviously, artwork is often on the wall of a gallery to be admired. People view it as something that's beautiful, something that's creative. something that is also very unique. So again, what she's saying here, it seems, is that tattoos will offer you the chance to be seen as a unique individual and be looked at in the same way that people admire artwork in an art gallery, for example. Before I show you what a good example might look like in terms of P paragraphs, this is what that means. This might be very familiar to you. We begin a paragraph with a point. So what is the topic of your paragraph? The evidence, which is a short quote, which you're taking from the extract that you might have highlighted, and the explanation using sentence stems such as this suggests, this implies, or just using the word suggesting, which means that you're saying to the examiner, this is my evidence, but this is what it means to me. This is how I've interpreted it. And that's the bit that you're doing yourself without having to be spoon-fed information from the examiner, from the writer, sorry. So what could a good example or what could a good response look like? It might look something like this. So 3 points in 3 paragraphs. The writer successfully conveys how it could be beneficial to get a tattoo. One of the ways this is shown is when the writer mentions how she has been a woman in tech for more than 2 decades, which suggests that tattoos are no longer pose a barrier to getting employed in top jobs. You can still get a good job even with body art. The writer also mentions how tattoos can enhance someone's appearance. You become a totally unique, living and breathing artwork, which implies that people become more attractive when they have tattoos because it makes them individuals and they're able to openly show off their creativity to be admired. The benefits of tattoos are also presented when the writer mentions how they can create a varied emotions. Tattoos can be something lovely, peaceful, suggesting that a tattoo can represent lots of different feelings and concepts using a variety of designs. People are bound to find something that they like, whether it represents their personality, interests, or what they deem dear to them. So 3 points there, following that point, example, explanation format. Just to note in that last paragraph where I've used the 3 dots, the ellipsis, that means that I deem that entire quote to be important, but I don't want to waste time writing it all out. So when I put an ellipsis in a quotation like that, it means that I want the writer to include the words between those words as well. So I'm basically shortening a quote using the ellipsis. So that's something else you can do if you're finding it difficult to shorten your quote down to a few words. So that is what a good response might look like in terms of paper 1 question 5 for Pearson 2.0, one of the evaluation questions. Thanks for watching and good luck.